I woke up this morning, I was feeling pretty dangerous.
We're on to Cincinnati.
It's my team. It's my quarterback.
They are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Hello? You play to win the game.
They want you to cook the dinner. At least they ought to let you shop for some of the groceries.
And on the way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off.
Playoffs? You kidding me?
I'm just here so I won't get fined.
How can you not be romantic about football, man?
Oh, I feel like I was playing that in my head last night. How could you not be romantic about football, man? When Aaron Rodgers was seemingly walking out of Lambeau for the last time. Welcome to Benched with Bonnetta, baby. Guys, what a freaking week. We canceled our podcast last Thursday out of respect for Damar Hamlin and his recovery. We've had good news all week. All weekend from Friday to now. Damar is discharged from the hospital. We find out as we are recording this podcast. I get to tell Kyle Brandt to his face. We celebrate. So let's get to that interview ASAP. We recap the week that has been crazy in the NFL and talk about Black Monday. So without further ado, KB, what up? Okay, welcome to the show. Another beautiful Monday, Tuesday, wherever and whenever you are listening to this show. Yep. KB, woof.
Hello?
Is all I have to say. What a week that we have all just experienced in the football community. I was watching you guys all last week. You did a phenomenal job. Thanks. This entire network did. To be honest, I was like sitting there on my couch. I'm never a part of like newsy things, you know. I bring the laughs, I bring the gags and the giggles. I was so impressed with our network. We are giving NFL Network their flowers today. We're giving you your flowers, and GMFB, you guys did a great job covering the Bills and Damar Hamlin last week. I just wanted to ask you, take us through the process of dealing with this. You are so close to the Bills community.
Yeah.
You called out their draft pick this year. You go up there plenty of times. I saw you wearing the Bills gear all last week, Monday to Friday, or Tuesday to Friday rather. So just walk me through, what were the emotions? What was your experience like?
Well, we're recording this, Rachel, on Monday, so it's really the 1 week anniversary of that terrible night in Cincinnati. And listen, I went through what everybody went through in some sense. That I remember I went to bed on about midnight on Monday night, and it was like in the middle of the Van Pelt show, and people remember it as one of these infamous nights in sports. And I went to bed at midnight, and I have to wake up at 5, but like every 45 minutes I woke up and I would check my phone because I was, how many times can you say this as a sports fan? Like, I was scared. I wasn't nervous. I was legitimately scared that I was going to look at my phone and there's going to be some tweet from some NFL insider that says terrible news, unfortunately, has passed away. That I can just say it. We thought that we were going to lose them. Yeah. And then I wake up in the morning on Tuesday. I'm scared. I walk into the Good Morning Football set, and our plan is just like, it was the strangest show ever. We've done 1,600 shows or something. There's never been a weirder one than that because there really was no plan. It was just sit down and be prepared to talk about anything and hope for the best, but genuinely be prepared for the worst, because we could be in the 8D segment and we get news that there's been a terrible piece of news from Cincinnati, and you guys just react to it on live TV. So holy crap. First of all, thank God it did not come, and it hasn't come, and from the sounds of it, it never will come. But you just sit around and talk, and you talk through a pit in your stomach, and you try to make it fresh and try to make it relatable, because you have your own job to do. But at the same time, I was just so scared the whole time. And I had, to your point, I know a lot of people, not only who live in Buffalo, but who are with the Bills. And, I'm not texting them being like, give me the inside scoop at all. They're just texting me because they see me on TV and they're like, we're really nervous and we're really scared. It was a tough time, but I'll end my answer with really the end of this phase of the story. I got texts and tweets from people after Nyheim Hines returned the opening kick, and they're like, I've been coming to games in this stadium for 37 years. It's the loudest I've ever heard it. And he hadn't even crossed the 20-yard line yet going in, and people are like crying and hugging and jumping up and down. And it was the most joyous moment. Because, Josh said it after the game, depending on how you feel philosophically, like, some people thought that was like a divine intervention and that was like God's plan and that type of beautiful thing. And so people were really emotional about it. And I have to say, it's even a week later, I am too.
It's so crazy. I mean, the first time that I was on TV last week, I mean, a bunch of things got canceled during the week out of respect for Damar's recovery. This podcast got canceled on Thursday. None of us were able to really, I wasn't in this building until the following Friday. And still, a few days removed, this building was still pretty quiet, even though by Friday, we had gotten the news that he was awake. Maybe there was I think at that point he had FaceTimed into the locker room and said, "Love you, boys," and all of these incredible things have come out. I think everyone was just so shook up the entire week that it was like, that almost happened. That was absolutely terrifying. I mean, do you remember, I mean, we've both been covering sports for a really long time. Do you remember a point in your career that anything besides like Kobe passing, that there was a week like this that people came together in the way that they did? I think it was Damar actually that tweeted out sometime this week, and then it doesn't matter your religion, doesn't matter where you are from. This is like, it brought people together all across the board. Do you remember anything like this happening?
The Kobe's a good one because I remember it happened on a Sunday and the Pro Bowl was going on.
Right before the Super Bowl. It was crazy.
Yeah. And Joe Tessitore was on the call of the Pro Bowl, and there was this account that people went into the locker rooms where all these NFL stars were and told them that like Kobe Bryant had died, and then they went and played the game, which is such a bizarre game anyway. And then watching the broadcast, he announces it. Really, really strange, and even Kobe, such a different conversation than the Damar Hamlin conversation, which is this young kid whose whole life and career are in front of him, and we're just getting to know him. So I can't think of something like this in sports. There's been other things like this where it's candlelight vigil-esque and you're hoping for something, but this was truly unique. And the fact that it happened on Monday Night Football, and listen, for me, you see a player down and you say, oh crap, a player's injured, and hopefully, he hope for the best and he gives us the thumbs up and I guess he's done for the night. That's too bad. How's this going to affect the Bills secondary?
Yeah.
And then I will never forget the rest of my life when Joe Buck said they're administering CPR. And then for all of us, that's when I started to get really scared. And then that feeling did not subside for like 3 days when they said, he's opening his eyes and communicating. So it turns out to be this beautiful story, but man, for a few days there, it was terrifying.
It was Diggs for me. Diggs, just like you just see like his face was just like wet from crying. And then the moment that Burrow went over and hugged Josh, I was like, the whole I was with a few people. Everyone was just like, oh no, this is not good. Have you had the chance to talk? I know you and Josh are tight. He comes on Kyle Brandt's Basement once a week. Have you been able to reach him or talk to him at all?
Yeah, we've texted a few times, and all I can say is that Josh Allen is how do I put this? He is more so than all of his peers. He loves football and loves the brotherhood and loves the teammates. Like, that is what he was put on this planet for. He is the son of a farmer from Firebaugh, California, who's known since he was a little kid that he wanted to play pro football. And this is so real to him, and it is so special. And he just wants to be with his teammates all the time. It's what he is into. He likes movies and he likes his girlfriend, and he is into bleeping football 24/7. So for this, it just cut him so deep. And even texting with him, like, kind of was just phrasing his words a little differently. And like, you could just tell he was just shook. And, then he goes out, Rachel, and he uncorks 3 touchdown passes against the Patriots. And it's like, oh yeah, that's Josh Allen. Like, he still has like that ability. And, it's been a crazy week with him too. And I'll talk to him tomorrow for an extended time on camera, but in the last week or so, we've just texted.
Well, everyone should definitely be tuning into that. I will be watching that. Absolutely. Kyle Brandt's Basement. I have to ask you, speaking of bleeping, you tweeted something. Now the only thing left to do is win the whole bleeping thing. Listen, we talk about miracles. We talk about religion and believing in a higher power. There's been a lot of that this week. But gosh, I am behind you on that. Like, they got to go do it now, right? There's nothing. I can't imagine another ending to this story, right?
Well, one of the things that Josh has said is that he knows, and this is before Damar Hamlin's incident, he already knows what his speech is going to be if they win the Super Bowl. Like, he's had it planned for years. He knows it word for word. He knows what he's going to say. Yeah. He has a special bottle of whiskey in his bar that he's saving for when they win the Super Bowl. He's got the speech. He's got the drink. He's got it all. And so, one of the questions I'll ask him tomorrow is that speech going to be a little different now because of what you guys have been through? And I'm expecting his answer to be yes. So they're really, really tight. And if you believe in the destiny, you believe in the higher calling, of course. Now, listen, let's put the cards on the table. There is no motivational thing that is going to guard Kelsey in the title game if they have to play him. Yep. Kelsey is a mother, and there's going to be a gauntlet in these AFC playoffs. So I know they have everything going for them, but man, they're going to need all of it.
Oh, I am just so pumped up for playoffs and the Super Bowl, and it's getting real. Rihanna is tweeting about it. Let's go, baby. Okay, not to take a left turn. Again, everyone watch that interview with Josh Allen coming up. I'm so excited about it. Aaron Rodgers, okay, got beat by the Lions last night. There was this whole kind of Jamal Williams asked for his jersey. He said, I think I'm going to keep this one. He had the walkout in the tunnel with Cobb. He seemed very reflective. His post-game interview, I'm sure you guys have all heard the sound by now. He's not making any decisions, but he could definitely leave. What are your thoughts on all this, KB? I feel like for the past few years, he's been winning MVPs, and we're all like, this is probably the last that you're going to see of Aaron Rodgers. But this one, I don't know, kind of feels a little bit different. Or am I wrong? Are you saying same?
No, I zag on this. I think he's going to come back. I do. And I haven't heard anything compelling that tells me he's going to leave, other than we're just kind of watching, and there's this feeling of, I think it's over, but that's nothing. Listen, I think the walk off with Cobb was very deliberate,
pushing the camera out of the way, being like, let me have my moment.
I think that was about Cobb, though. I think that was about Cobb because that's like his best friend. It's been his friend for years. And I think he knows that Randall Cobb will not be back. So I think that was him saying goodbye to his friend. That's not a Rodgers thing.
Does Rodgers come back with the Packers, or does he go elsewhere and kind of do something like Tom Brady-esque?
No, I think it comes back to the Packers. Listen, I hate to put it like this, but let's just call it what it is.
Put it out there.
He's gonna make $50 million if he comes back next year. Like, even if he hated the football and was done with it, that is, even for him, is a massively significant figure to come back one more time and chuck that old pigskin at Christian Watson a few times and see what happens. So yeah, I think he's gonna go back.
He did make some comment about I've made generational wealth and I'm so thankful. Hopefully I've earned a little bit of that. But money's money, baby. Show me the money. If you were two-time MVP and you were Aaron Rodgers, how would you retire? Would you do the Big Ben thing of circling the stadium and waving at everyone? Would you have a spicy offseason? Will he, won't he? Would you have a decision, LeBron-esque situation? How would you do it, KB?
No, can't do that. Listen, Rodgers will go and find some rainforest or some geyser or some glacier, and he'll be there on an alpaca or whatever the hell he is, and he will be in the
He's going to see a meteor.
Yeah, he'll be riding a meteor in his full Zen ninja monk Obi-Wan Kenobi mode, and he'll say farewell, and he'll have this message or this quote, and it'll be beautiful. But I think it'll be probably in 2024.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Okay, before we let you go, there are a few. We're recording this on Black Monday, the day after the regular season, where all of these coaches get let go. Tom Pelissero tweeted this out earlier today. And by the time you're listening to this on Tuesday, I don't know. Maybe, there might be more. Who knows? There are now 5 NFL head coaching vacancies. The Panthers, the Colts, the Broncos, the Texans, and the Cardinals. KB, since the Colts hired Jeff Saturday this year, anything's possible. Okay? Anybody could fill these coaching vacancies. So I went through those 5 teams, and I picked people across a variety of different occupations, ex-players, maybe some celebs, maybe some actors. Sure. I'm going to pitch you on them. If you've got some ideas, would love to hear them, but I want to hear your thoughts on maybe some potential fill-ins for these coaching vacancies. Okay. We're going to start with the Texans. I think that this is easy. J.J. Watt, freshly retired. He's going to take the offseason and be like, listen, I miss that football field. He had 9 seasons with the Texans. Maybe his body doesn't want to play football anymore, but I mean, this guy clearly had a hard time retiring. He was emotional. The brothers came out and celebrated him yesterday. J.J. Watt, tell me, do you hate this? No. He said he's always going to be a Texan. Fans
He's the
love
greatest
him.
Texan ever.
There you go.
It's not close. And listen, he never got to play with his brothers. So I think in a little bit down the line, then you have Derek Watt come and be the offensive coordinator and TJ Watt the defensive coordinator, and you team them up like that. It's a beautiful idea. Beautiful idea.
That defense is unstoppable then. Okay, Panthers. I'm zigging. I'm zagging. Will Smith, huge Panthers fan, apparently. Maybe, are we going to see him act again? I don't know. Post-slap, okay? We covered it on GMFB as soon as it happened. That was one of the greater TV experiences that I've had. Good at motivational speaking, okay? You know he's going to lift those guys up. What say you, Will Smith?
All right, you lost me at this. Why is Will Smith, who's from Philadelphia, why is he a Panthers fan? Is he an Eagles fan?
I Googled celeb football fans, and Will Smith had a Panthers jersey on it. Okay, so don't fact check me on this. Just roll with it. It's called Yes and
what
KB.
a stupid nerdy retort that I had. But I will still disagree. If there's going to be any Panthers, especially one who will not afraid to show emotion, I will say wrong Smith, Bonnetta. I will go Steve Smith Senior. If we're going to do the Jeff Saturday about Steve Smith Senior, the greatest Panther of all time.
I actually really love that. In this weird little website that I found, which is clearly not accurate according to Kyle Brandt, Diddy is a huge Panthers fan. So maybe I don't think anyone would actually want to see that. Listen, we don't have to get into the situation. We don't have to get into the
huge LA Rams fan Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. Like what maybe the malware that you've been picking up from going to WikiFeed has infiltrated your computer.
This podcast isn't for facts, okay? This is supposed to be the one for fun. All right, next up, Colts. I mean, come on. I think it's pretty easy. Peyton Manning. Who's saying no to that? 14 seasons with the Colts. Everyone would buy into this, KB. There would be nobody. I mean, listen, we love him on Monday Night Football with Eli. Yeah. We love we love that he started the production company that your podcast belongs to. Okay, he can do that. He can do that stuff on the side. He could still dabble in the off season. The players would respect him. The fans would be pumped up to have him back. Who's saying no?
He has a statue outside the stadium.
He already has
I
a
thought
statue.
Maybe we would go with like massive Indianapolis Colts fan Jennifer Lopez. Maybe she could.
Oh, I don't know. Let me check this website. Oh, turns out J-Lo's not a fan of the Colts.
What? No, for Colts, I would say, you know who actually is a Colts fan? Who I think would be a great coach?
Yeah.
David Letterman. I'll go with David Letterman.
Oh my
He's got
God.
great perspective. He's funny. None of the kids know who he is, so they won't think he's a comedian.
It wouldn't be weird.
Letterman.
Huh.
Yeah.
I actually love that. But I do
Thank
like
you.
his new show on Netflix, so I don't want to give that up. Okay, Broncos. You're going to hate this.
What do you got? Elway?
I went on the same website. I saw Tiger Woods there with his ex-girlfriend, Lindsey Vonn. Lindsey Vonn is actually the Broncos fan, but Tiger Woods was at a game once. Okay. And then the more that I thought about it, how cool would that be? Tiger Woods, incredible athlete, incredible dedication. I don't even know if he is a big NFL fan. I saw him with a Stanford sweater on. We know he likes college ball. Mm-hmm. I think he could dedicate enough time to pick it up, and that would be incredible.
Anytime that I've talked to an athlete or seen someone else talk to him, and the question comes up about, what other athletes out there do you really respect? Who do you admire? I'm telling you, 9 out of 10 times they say Tiger Woods. It could be a football player, basketball player, baseball player, NASCAR driver. These guys love Tiger for his domination, for how much money he makes, and just because he's an icon. So I think that would immediately work for some. The athletes are obsessed with Tiger, and he would have
him and Russ
in his palm of his hand.
Broncos country, let's ride. Okay, and then finally, the Cardinals position. Cliff was let go. Yeah. Kyler should be forced to do both. He did it in the preseason. He made some calls. He called some plays. He did a pretty decent job. There he is, right there, calling some plays. Cliff, I think, did this as like punishment, but then he was actually like somewhat decent at it. Kyler should do this. He needs to. I know he's injured. He's gonna hopefully be better and ready to go next season. I think he could learn a lot. I think he could grow up a lot if he was trying to double dip here. What do you think?
Now, do you mean like he would be,
he's doing both,
Madden
baby,
thing, or this is actual football?
He's doing both, baby. This is
this is
never been seen before. This is a fake world we're living in where Will Smith is a Panthers fan. Kyler Murray can coach the Cardinals as well as play quarterback.
There's a thing that used to do like back in the 1920s where there was the player coach, where the players were actually one of the coaches, and it's totally archaic, but it's a beautiful thing. And like the coach would check himself into the game and then call the plays and stuff like that. I don't know if I look at Kyler Murray as the one to bring that back.
Yeah. It's more of a punishment, I think.
Yeah, the coaching game is hard. It's like one of the worst quality of life professions on the planet.
Yeah.
So yeah, somebody has to coach the Cardinals, and if none of the coaches can get along with Kyler, maybe he has to do it himself.
Okay, KB, we are gonna send you off with the best news ever. Are you ready for this? I don't even think you will have seen this. I am going to tell you this live. Damar Hamlin has been discharged from the hospital.
Oh my God!
Is returning home to Buffalo per the physicians at the University of Cincinnati Health.
Oh,
baby,
yeah!
He is doing well, and this is the next stage of his recovery. Yahoo!
This guy's incredible. I mean, this is a week. Is he going to start against the Dolphins this weekend? This is amazing. What an incredible specimen.
Oh, my God. What great news. KB, we love ya. Thanks for spending time with us. And you know what? Damar Hamlin said this week, go out and tell people that you love them. Kyle Brandt, we love you on this show. Thank you for showing up.
Love you too, Ben from Bonnetta. See you guys.
Woo. See you next week. And I love you guys as well. Thank you for listening. Thanks to KB. Thanks to our crew for putting these shows together every single week. Love, love, love. All right, coming up after the break, we talk a lot about miracles this week because we saw a few of them, and I opened my DMs and asked you guys what miracles that you've seen. This is going to be cheesy. This is going to be a cheesy little seggy, but it's very cute. So stick around.
Full January Sunday in Week 18 as New England and Buffalo are about to meet. And here's Hines on the run back, breaking a tackle and taking it past midfield, and down the sideline he goes. This is storybook, an opening kickoff return for Damar Hamlin, and this place is absolutely going wild.
Oh, you just said this is storybook. This is almost fate. I just can't believe what just happened. Josh Allen, the same thing.
After all that's happened in these last 6 days, I don't believe what we just saw here.
It's so incredible. I almost forgot we were doing a podcast. Like, I just got caught up in watching that again because it was so amazing. So just so you get a sense of like how my Sunday works, I get off the morning show literally at 10 a.m. So by the time I get home, it's like 10:30. I'm like missing the front half of the game. This happened obviously immediately, and I was walking down the hallway, and I walk by the Red Zone studios, which you never hear. You never hear loud things coming out of there. And all I heard was yelling. And I was like, Scott Hansen has lost his mind today. What is going on? And then by the time I get back into the locker room to like get changed, get ready to go home, my phone had blown up, and I saw what had happened. And Cynthia Freeland and I just sat there and rewatched it. And we were like, oh my God. It is, I mean, I think I speak for all of us, is one of the most incredible things I think I've seen in sports. It's, you know, Josh Allen went on to say, like, it's, you know, hard to not believe in something going on. I don't want to get into all of that. I'm not religious. You know, whatever you believe in is whatever you believe in. But sometimes when things like this happen, you got to believe that something's going on. Something's going on. People are looking out. Something funky's happening. That was incredible. That was the greatest thing that I have seen in sports. So it made me want to open up my DMs and ask you guys, I don't know, I'm just in this mood. I'm just in this emotional mood right now. I wanted to ask you if there was like a miracle that you had witnessed in or out of sports. It didn't matter. You know, did you see somebody get out of their wheelchair and go, hallelujah, I can walk again? I would love to see that. That sounds magical. And I got a lot of DMs. And to be honest, if you want a little like pep in your step today, go and just read this thread. I got DMs, and then I got just people commenting on my Twitter. And there's a lot of really incredible stories. So I'm going to read a couple of them to you guys right now. Obviously, one that came to mind immediately was D. Gordon hitting a home run after Jose Fernandez died in a boating accident. So let me just read this to you. I just like ripped it off of Wikipedia. A left-handed hitter, D. Gordon, he took the first pitch of his at-bat as a right-handed batter, imitating Fernandez's batting stance, with Fernandez's batting helmet in honor of his late friend. The pitcher, out of respect, threw the ball. He just like, you know, here you go. Then Gordon switched to the other side, and he got his right stance out. He smashed it. He said after the game that he had never hit a ball that far, even in batting practice. Okay? This is a guy that hit, I think, 18 home runs in his entire career. I think he's still playing. 18 home runs, and he hit one on that day. This is not a guy, this is not like fourth on the batting order. He's not playing cleanup. He hit an incredible home run. That's magic. You can't ignore that. That is magic. I loved this. This brought me to tears this morning. The year my dad passed away was the first season I watched football in my entire life without him. We are diehard Dolphins fans and notoriously hated the Patriots / Tom Brady. Watching that Dolphins-Pats game that year before the final play, I said, Dad, if you are watching this right now, please give me a sign. Then the Miami Miracle happened, the crazy lateral situation. I literally fell to the ground crying, and it still shakes me up. Literally after that kickoff, I was like, if you're not watching sports, what are you doing with your life? Because there's things that happen. There are these connections and these beautiful, beautiful moments. And I'd like to share a moment of my own. My dad passed away when I was 17. I talk about it a lot. If you haven't heard me talk about it, I talk a lot about mental health and grieving and all of those, uncomfortable things. But my dad was sick for 8 years. And basically there was a point when we got to the end of it that we were like, okay, this is it. He stopped eating. I got pulled out of high school. And it was taking a little while for him to pass. And we make jokes about it. We were like, come on, Dad, like, what's going on? I gotta go to prom. Okay. I can be dark about it because it's my experience. But he was taking a little while, and it was like 5 days down the road after we were told, like, this is it. And so I invited my friend over for a sleepover, which sounds psychotic now that I think about it as an adult. My father is about to pass away in the next room, and I'm like, Whitney, you want to come over and watch the OC? She was like, yeah, sure. That's not bad. So we were up having like a little slumber party, and she falls asleep and I fall asleep. And then at like 2:15 a.m., a picture frame comes flying off of my wall. I swear this happened. Picture frame comes flying off of my wall and smashes. And it was like a whatever picture. It was like me and a friend. It wasn't anything significant. But it fell off right beside my bedroom door. And then I woke up and I was like, what the hell? And I noticed that there was a small little sliver of light underneath my bedroom door, which told me that my parents' bedroom light was still on. And, my dad was pulled out of the hospital and brought home so that he could pass away with all of our family. So he was at home with us. And the bedroom light was on, and I was just like, whoa, why are they still awake? And I go into my parents' room, and my brother, Jonas, is standing over my dad, and he was crying. And he looked at me, and he said, he literally just took his last breath a second before you got in here. And I was able to have this final moment with my dad instead of, waking up. I'm sure somebody would have woken me up, but I was able to have this final moment with him, and I crawled into bed with him like a weirdo. No, it wasn't weird. It was beautiful. And I got to, just hold on to him one last time. And it's like, you can't, whatever you believe in, it doesn't matter. Things happen. And that's what happened with this game and Damar Hamlin's recovery, and the fact that he is a week, literally today, we record this on Monday, he is out of the hospital and on his way home. And man, I think all of us are hoping that he can play football again. We hope we see him next season. We hope, but nothing but health for him above all else. Football aside, who cares? But if you're going through stuff at home and just, miracles happen every day and beautiful things happen. And we're with the Buffalo community and we're with Damar. And sports are a beautiful thing, baby. Sports are a beautiful, beautiful thing. Okay, coming up after the break, best and worst thing that I saw. I'm going to go cry. Bye.
He's the best.
Okay, the best and the worst thing that I saw all week. Woo, what a doozy. What a doozy. Man, that overtime game with Seattle Rams. I wanted the Rams to win so bad. I have loved cheering for the Seahawks this season, and Geno and that magic. That's been incredible. They're in the playoffs. Congratulations, Seattle. But we were this close to having the Detroit Lions in the playoffs. Oh, that would have just been beautiful. That would have been beautiful. But instead, we don't have the Detroit Lions in the playoffs. But we got one last parting soundbite from my favorite player this season, without question, Jamal Williams of the Detroit Lions. Take it away.
Stop playing us, man. We the Detroit Lions. We the Detroit Lions. Stop playing with us. I don't even watch TV, but I heard everybody already picked the Packers over us. Stop playing with us. That's all I gotta say, man. Don't let these tears fool you. There's all dog around this mug.
Oh God, he is just so incredible. And what a moment. He came from the Packers. Now he's on the Detroit Lions. You heard him. If he said that like a year ago, we would have been like, yeah, so what? But what of it? You're on the Detroit Lions. But now they're on the Detroit Lions. You know, we gotta say it a little bit differently. Jared Goff, top 10 quarterback? Who? What? Where? In Detroit, baby. That's where. I can't wait to see what the Lions look like next season. Cannot wait. Oh, they are going to be a contender. Hard Knocks round 2. I'll just say it right now. Get him back into the groove because something worked. Now on to the worst thing that I saw. People have some thoughts on Aaron Rodgers. I'll just say that. People have some thoughts on Aaron Rodgers. Post game, you know, Jamal was just like, hey, can I have that jersey? And he goes, I think I'm going to keep this one. And then all of a sudden, we all started paying attention. We all started paying very close attention to what he did in the next 30 to 60 to 2 minutes, you know. He walked down the tunnel out of Lambeau. He took his moments looking around. Okay, this is it. Walks down the tunnel with Randall Cobb, and he has this little run-in with a camera guy. Take a look.
Come on, man. Give us a break. Get the
I mean, I kind of get it. This feels like paparazzi-esque, you know? He's having this, like, beautiful moment with Randall Cobb, who Kyle, you know, we're all like, oh, this is going to be it for Aaron Rodgers. But he's like, that's it for Randall Cobb. He's saying goodbye to his friend. Spicy. Okay. But I will give Aaron Rodgers, you know, I'll give him some props. He did have a beautiful moment in the post-game press conference where he kind of, like, gave his love to everybody. It's pretty beautiful. Take a look at this.
I'm going to miss your questions, Bill. And Mike Clemens taking 10 seconds to do a lead up. And Pete angling for something. And Bob writing stories about my personal life. You've been good lately, though.
Thanks.
And Jason bringing it back home with something that's kind of heavy hitting. Stephanie Sutton coming out of left field. A good question. I miss the guys. I miss the fans. Yeah. Thank you.
Oof. I don't know if I'm just emotional today, but everything's making me cry. So he was asked, like, you know, if this is it, what are you going to miss? And that's what he went and said. He called out all the journalists and the reporters that have been with him through a lot. You know, he's not necessarily made their lives easy. You know, they've reported on everything from football to ayahuasca in the last 12 months. Absolutely wild. COVID, everything. So I thought that was pretty cool that he took the time to not only call them out by their first name, but sometimes their last name, which is pretty amazing. He spent a lot of time with those people, but a lot of football players wouldn't take that time to get to know them. Guys, that is our show. Nothing but love today. I'm just like feeling all the feels, okay? So I'm sending a hug to you. Good news about Damar. We are going to be back on Thursday. Friday. Our show's coming out on Friday. How have I been doing this for a year and I still don't know when shows come out? Colleen Wolfe is going to be joining us, and I'm very, very excited to chat with her. We're going to be previewing Super Wildcard Weekend. We're going to be talking about the next month of our lives as we gear up to cover the Super Bowl. I cannot wait. So make sure you're tuning back in on Friday for that. And by the way, BT Dubs, NFL Plus is here, which means no matter where you are, this is how you football. This is how you football. You can stream live, local, and primetime games on your phone or tablet, 45-minute game replays with NFL Plus Premium, and more. This is the NFL for every fan. This is football freedom. This is your game on the go. Go to plus.nfl.com and sign up now. Don't forget to subscribe to the show. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at benched_pod to see the videos and clips we talk about each week with your own eyes. Also, follow me on social media because I'm often asking you guys questions for the show and opening my DMs. We got some amazing stories this week about miracles, so go check those out. They're all over my Twitter. Love you guys. We will see you next week right before Super Wildcard Weekend. Ooh, ooh, football.